Hey folks, Country Prepper here. Well, I want to talk about this new show called Alone that's on the History Channel. And if you missed the show, I have a link down below where you can watch it on the internet. So, you know, like I said, if you missed it, go check that out. It's actually a pretty good show. And it's not like most of the survival shows that we've seen over the last few years. It's pretty cool. They dropped 10 guys off in the wilderness, and over in I can't remember exactly the name of the place. It's up in the Pacific Northwest on an island. So it's definitely different. They got 10 items to choose to take with them, and it seems as though they had a kind of a list that they could pick from. They couldn't pick just anything they wanted. Obviously on the list, nobody brought a firearm, so that was definitely not on the list. And there's a few other things, but that was the main one that I think most people noticed. But anyhow, I compiled a list out of all the different, on the biographies, on the bios on historychannel.com. If you go look at those, they show the 10 things that each person picked. So I compiled a list, and that is in the description box below as well. And that's what I want to talk about today, is the 10 different items that I would have picked to take with. And then I want to get you guys' opinions. What would you take as well? So first off, well, I wrote them all down here. So there is not a big list to choose from. I'll read it off to you here real quick. The options were a saw, an axe, a sleeping bag, a bivy bag, the Gore-Tex, probably military style sleeping bag, the cover, a Ferro Rod, a large 2-quart pot, which is what most of them chose, water bottle or canteen, 300 yards of single filament fishing line with 25 assorted hooks. From watching Colcraven Bushcraft, he put an annotation that it was a 40-pound test monofilament. You can choose a bow and 6 arrows, a slingshot, a knife, I assume just a normal size medium survival knife, from what most of them were carrying. I think Wayne there at Colcraven Bushcraft, he took a BK2. Let's see, what's next? A large knife, which I saw, looked like, I can't remember the guy's name, one of the bigger guys. He was carrying a pretty good size, looked like a kukri. And then a sharpening stone, a 12x12 ground sheet, which was a pretty heavy-duty tarp from what I understand. Some 550 paracord, 20 meters. Some extra emergency food rations. I don't know exactly how much, just by what I'm guessing. Hopefully they give the guys, like maybe at least a couple days worth. And then a small gauge gill net and 3.5-pound wire. So that is the complete list from what I compiled off of the bios on history.com. There may have been some other items that just none of them chose. I don't know. There's no complete list anywhere that I could find on the internet. So I'm going to go over the 10 items that I would have chosen to take with me, and then please leave a comment, after looking at the list in the description, what 10 items would you have taken with you? First off, I would have taken the sleeping bag. It's only, at the time of filming, they kept showing the temperature. It was ranging in the 30s. So you definitely want to be able to stay warm, and that first night you're just getting dropped off in the middle of nowhere. You don't really have time to set up a primitive shelter and bows, pine bows and all that good stuff to try and keep yourself warm. Most of them didn't even have enough time to get a fire started, as wet as it was. So next on the list, a ferro rod. Definitely, you need some kind of combustion device. Obviously, they were not given the choice of lighters or, anything like that. So, next, I actually skipped on the large 2-quart pot because, I think they all had a backpack, so, or at least I think they did. They all had some kind of a bag to carry all their stuff in, but that's, fairly 2-quart is, fairly large, I think, so I would just go with the, you know, probably I assume it's like a 32-ounce bottle or canteen. So next, 300 yards of monofilament with the 25 fishing hooks, assorted fishing hooks. There's a lot of big game and a lot of predators where they're at, so one of your main sources of food other than foraging is going to be fish. So that's just a good idea to have some hooks with you. Trying to find, I don't think there's any agave in the desert. I had somebody make a comment on one of my videos about I don't need to carry a fishing kit in my bug out bag because I can get agave thorn and cordage off of it. Well, there are no agave plants here, so sorry. And there aren't anywhere they are going either, as far as I know. So next, a bow and 6 arrows. There's, like I said, predators up there. You need some kind of a weapon, and you could also use it to you know, catch small game and or even medium-sized game, some large game. If you're not really good with it, you're not going to take down a bear with a bow and arrow, but some people probably could. But it would definitely deter a larger animal or predator from coming towards you. Next, a knife. Like regular, you know, probably a medium-sized survival knife, like, you know, like I said, the BK2, or, you know, like, well, there's tons of them out there, SE5, or, you know, just whatever. I assume they got to choose their knife of choice, but I'm not sure about that either. Next, a large knife. You did have the option of a saw or axe, but a large knife, there's a lot of things you can do with a large knife that you can also, you know, which an axe is probably better for, but it's very, very thick brush in that area, so a machete would come in very handy. And I mean, you can cut down some small trees to make yourself a primitive shelter if need be. So I think a large, you know, machete or something like that would probably be better suited for me anyway. Some people might not agree. Next, the 12x12 ground sheet, tarp. Definitely. Like I said, they got dropped off in the middle of nowhere, and there isn't a whole lot of time to be building a shelter. So, you know, being able to put up that, you know, tarp as a shelter real quick is a great idea. Definitely something you want to have. And also, once you do have enough time, once you've procured water and some food and gotten yourself in a location that is somewhat, you know, away from game trails, things like that, you could probably set up a primitive shelter, and then you can use that tarp as an actual ground cover to keep the ground from sapping the heat out of your body. So next on the list, 550 paracord. Too many uses for 550 paracord to not have it with you. And plus the inner strands could be used if you run out of fishing line. So, but there's only 20 meters, which is not a lot. So, you know, it's a fairly small hank. I carry a lot more than that in my, you know, get home bag. So, and my get home bag is only to get me, well, less than 20 miles from home. So, just, you know, keep that in mind. It's not a lot of paracord. And then, last but not least, emergency rations. Not very many people chose the emergency rations. And the reason that I decided to pick those is because the first day or two, you have so many other things to worry about. Like I said, finding a location that is away from game trails, you know, away from, well, like the first guy that left the island, I think his name was Josh. You know, he set up pretty close to a bear den, apparently, because they came in the middle of the night and were sniffing around his camp. So it's just my opinion. You know, I wasn't there. I wouldn't even want to be there, to be quite honest. But if possible, I would have gotten away from there. I would have gotten as far away from that bear den as possible. But like I said, you don't know the situation, and you don't know the terrain. You don't know what he was up against. So I don't blame him for leaving when he did, honestly. So the emergency rations, it allows you the energy to get so many other things done instead of having to find food right off the bat. So that is why I chose the emergency rations, and that's probably going to be a controversial decision, but I just think that if you had something to sustain yourself while you are procuring water and setting up a good shelter and getting fire going, I think would be very helpful. Those first 3 days especially, in any survival situation, I've never been out for 3 days by myself before, so, and especially not in terrain like that, not in a dangerous situation like that. So honestly don't know exactly what I would do, but I mean, just my thought process, that's what I think I would do. And so those are my choices. I will leave a link, or well, not a link, I will leave a list, a second list of just my chosen items, so that you can go back through them for leaving your comment about your 10 items and comment on what I chose. So like I said, if you missed the show, I have a link down there in the description, so go check that out, go watch the show. I highly recommend it. It is it's entertaining and it's realistic, so that's why I really like the show. So that's it for today, guys. Give me your opinions and tell me what you would take for your 10 items. So that's it for today. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.